Hi and welcome to Yoga with Ilona. I'm Ilona and today I'm going to be taking you through my go-to yoga routine to get the full splits. I did this routine for probably about a year, nearly every day before I could do the full splits, and I even find now that even though I have a daily practice, if I miss a couple of days then it's harder to get into the full splits. If you're just starting out on this journey with hanumanasana, then you really need to be mindful of your own flexibility level, what feels right in your body, and to not push it too far. For this practice, I will be sharing an example with 2 yoga bricks. If you don't have yoga bricks, don't worry, you can use heavy books or rolled blankets or whatever you have around you, and lots of people will be able to do this without bricks too. We are going to begin on our yoga mats in child's pose. Come down into child's pose. Let the knees be wide and take a moment to breathe down into your belly. Open up the back. Notice how your body's feeling. And spend as long as you need to in child's pose to settle into your practice. But when you're ready, take a deep breath in to come up to tabletop position. As you breathe out, come back to downward facing dog by straightening the legs. Spend a moment in downward dog. Walk out the heels, bend one knee and then the other. See how downward dog feels for you today. And then from here, breathe in to roll forward, take a high plank position, and exhale, push it back, downward facing dog. And we'll do that 4 more times with your own breath. Feeling the backs of the legs lengthen out slightly each time you push back into downward dog. Make sure you're really spreading the fingers and the palms of the hands wide. And 1 more. Just reset. And then with your next deep breath in, reach the right leg up and back. Reach it as high as you can. Feel that stretch down the back of the left leg. And then we are going to take knee to nose with the exhale. Breathe in, lift it high. Exhale, knee to nose, controlling the core. And again. Twice more with the pace of your own breath. And then this time, step the foot forward between the hands and we'll take the left knee down into a low lunge. Inhale to stretch into the hips. Exhale, come back into half split. So this is like a runner's stretch. Inhale, come forward. Exhale. Making sure to keep the hips square the whole time. Keep moving between these 2 poses with your own breath. And 1 more. Come forward. And then exhale to straighten through that front leg. And this time you can lift the toes and see how the sensation moves to a slightly different place in your leg. See if you can reach your nose towards that knee or the shin. Keeping the hips square the whole time. And then take 1 more breath in to bring the knee forward and then plant the hands and we'll step all the way back to a plank position Take a deep breath in. Exhale, come halfway down. And then as you breathe in, find upward facing dog on the tops of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll go straight onto the other side. Breathing in to reach the left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, engage the core. Inhale, reach it high. Breathing out. And 2 more. And then on this one, hover the left knee and then step between the hands. Bring the right knee down and we'll take a deep breath in to stretch into the hips. Exhale, find your half split position. Breathing in, come forward. Notice how it feels different on this side. And 1 more. And then we'll breathe in to come forward in the low lunge. Plant the hands and step back to high plank. Inhale here. Exhale, come halfway down. And then breathe in, open up, upward facing dog. And then we'll breathe in once again to take the right leg high this time. And then scoop it all the way forward and step between the hands. Engage through the thighs and the core. Imagine scissoring the inner thighs towards one another. Find strength in your feet. And then lightly lift up into a high crescent lunge. Make sure you're drawing your tailbone down towards the floor to keep your pelvis neutral and engaging your lower belly. Take another full breath in and then exhale, open up into warrior 2. Breathing in and then exhale, we'll open back into reverse warrior. And you can look down at the back foot. Keep lunging deeply into the right knee. And then with an exhale, windmill over into side angle pose. You can look up to the hand, or you can even reach it all the way overhead, stretching down the whole side of your body on the left side. And then from here, on an exhale, open up, straightening into the front leg, and then turn the right toes in to find a wide leg stance. And then we're going to straighten up through the spine and on an exhale fold into a wide-legged forward fold, stretching down the insides of both legs. And then you can interlace the hands at the lower back and allow the knuckles to hang down towards the floor, stretching out the chest and the fronts of the shoulders. See if you can take the heels wider apart to find a deeper stretch down the backs of the legs, and keep sinking your weight into the backs of the feet, the heels, to increase the stretch here. If you're finding this too much, then you can just heel toe the feet slightly closer together. Try to breathe deeply down into your lower belly and extending the exhales out. Feel how with each exhale you find greater flexibility. On your next inhale, you can slowly begin to reach the head up towards the ceiling, and then you could even take a slight back bend here, driving the knuckles down towards the mat. And then we'll open back up into Warrior 2, and on your next exhale, windmill down and find Downward Facing Dog. And then from here we'll take the left leg high straight away, scoop it forward, engaging the core all the way between the hands, find that strength in the legs, and then reach up to crescent pose. Drive back through the right heel. Take a deep breath in. And then on an exhale, open up Warrior 2. Next time you breathe out, place the right hand on the back of the right leg and open up Reverse Warrior. Keeping that bend in the left knee and strength in the left leg. And then on your next exhale, windmill all the way over into side angle pose on the other side. Planting the left fingers down on the inside of the left foot. And once again, you can reach the right arm overhead, stretching out the whole right side of the body. Then as you're ready, come up, straightening into the left leg and open out the left foot to find your forward fold. And this time we'll just bring the hands down underneath the face. Seeing if you feel a little bit more length in the backs of the legs on this side. You could even try walking the hands underneath the legs and bring the head down. Then when you're ready, walk the hands out, over, back towards the left foot, and then we'll step it all the way back to Downward Dog. At any point you can take Child's Pose, pause the video, take a break, but if you're ready to move on, then breathe in to reach the right leg high and scoop it between the hands once again. Inhale, find Crescent Lunge, and then as you exhale, you're going to take some strength in the right foot and lift the back leg up to come into a standing split pose. So kick back into the left heel. Keep imagining you could straighten it up towards the ceiling. You could even point the toe to help you. And then see if you could take one hand or even both hands to the back of the right foot. And then plant the hands and bend into the right knee. See if you can not touch the left toes onto the mat as you draw the knee in towards the chest. Just to release that hip flexor. And then you can take your left hand around the left knee and draw it out towards the side to stretch into the inner thigh. And then with your next exhale, find that standing split once again. Exhale, bring the left foot down. And then we'll sit all the way back down onto the mat. Straighten out the left leg in front of you and draw the right leg up towards your face, keeping the spine straight. You can point or flex the toes on the right foot. And then keeping hold of the right calf or knee, you can roll down to lying on your back. See how this brings the stretch further into the thigh. And then you could even lie down onto the mat and take your hands around the foot. All the time listening to your body, working with the bounds of your own. And then from there you can bend into the right knee and take hold of both feet. Bring the knees on the outsides of the body. for a happy baby pose, and you can just rock from side to side gently. Then as you're ready, bring the knees into the center, and you can rock your way up to the top of the mat, come over the legs, and step all the way back to downward dog. And then we'll take all of that onto the left side. Breathe in to lift the left leg high, scoop it forward and step between the hands. As you breathe in, come up to a high crescent pose. And then with an exhale, lift off the back foot and step up and forward into your standing split. And then again, see if you could take a hand or two hands to the back of the left foot and keep straightening out the right leg. And then from there, you can float up to standing on your left leg and scoot the right knee in towards the body, releasing out the hip flexor. And then take the right hand around the right knee and open it out to the side. And then from there, find your way back into your standing split position. And then bring the right foot down and sit all the way down onto the mat. And then take the left calf in both hands and reach the foot up towards the ceiling, keeping the spine straight again. Try not to round back too much. Keep the lower belly glued to the thigh. Straighten and flex the foot, and then roll gently down onto lying on your back. Keep trying to get your nose all the way to the knee. And then lie the head down. Keep drawing the foot and the calf in towards your face. And as you're ready, come back into happy baby once again. And then we'll rock up to seated. And now you can take your bricks to the outside of the mat, either lengthways or sideways, depending on how much height you need. And then we will make our way back into downward facing dog. From here, inhale the right leg high, and then we'll bend into the knee and open the hips out. And then from there, scoop forward and take the right foot on the outside of the right hand, ready for lizard pose. Keep the left leg lifted for the moment, and we're going to open out the hip by just gently coming onto the outside of the right foot and opening up the hips. And you can stay here as long as you want to warm up the hip flexors a bit more. But then when you feel ready, take the hands down either side of the right foot and walk it towards the center of the mat. And then you're going to lift up in the body and take your hands onto the yoga blocks. Or if you can reach, just bring your fingers down onto the mat. You could also, for beginners, you can take the bricks onto the highest setting. And then we're just going to walk the right foot forward. Another thing you can do is take a blanket in front of your mat on like a wooden floor or a tiled floor and slide the blanket forward. So holding onto the bricks, you're going to keep your hips lifted off the mat and then just sink down, letting the weight of the body sink down, straight down towards the mat. Only going as far as you feel is a challenge, but not painful for your hamstrings and your hip flexor on the left side. And then just hang out here, taking some deep breaths in, being mindful of where your body wants to go. You might be all the way up here with your knees much more bent than I have them, but just work with where you are now. Breathing as deeply as you can. Imagine you could breathe into the spaces where you feel tension and resistance. And when you've spent some good long breaths there, you can take the hands down off the blocks and fold forward over that front leg. Bring the heel back between the hands and find that runner's stretch again, lifting the toes, allowing the hips to square off again. And then we'll bend into the knee once more. Take the hands either side of the right foot and then step back to downward dog. And then when you're ready, lift up the left leg and bend into the left knee. Open out the hips, stacking the hips on top of one another, stretching into the front of the left hip flexor this time. And then you can, with control, step all the way to the outside of the mat on the left side. And then we're going to open out the hip like we did on the other side. Keep that back knee lifted while we do this. And then bending into the elbows, we'll come down into a full lizard pose. And then you can bring the back knee down, just stretching out further into the backs of the thighs and the glutes. And then when you're ready, come up onto the hands once again, and we'll find those bricks. And then you can heel toe, creep the foot forward to the top of the mat, and sink down into the hips once again. When you eventually do get to this point, you can then just take your hands onto the mat. You might still be slightly lifted off, but you can use the hands rather than the bricks. If you're already in full split, you could try taking it further by folding over that front leg. And when you've spent some long breaths in the splits, you can walk the foot back into the center and find runner's lunge. And then we'll bend into the front knee. And this time you can just drag the foot back and find child's pose. And then take a moment in child's pose just to recover. Maybe take a little rock from side to side in the hips. And then when you're ready, you can roll up to a seated position on your mat. And take a few deep breaths into the belly. And then I invite you to take your hands to heart center. Bow your head slightly and thank yourself for practicing yoga today. And thank your body for all it allows you to do. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that a regular practice is going to help you get into hanumanasana, the split pose that you want to achieve. Bear in mind that all these things take practice and yoga is all about the process rather than the end result. So enjoy it, enjoy those movements, and good luck with your splits journey. If you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a like and commented underneath to tell me what you thought and what you'd like to see next. If you want to see more videos, I post a new yoga video every Saturday morning, and please do subscribe to see those. Also, if you hit that little bell button next to the subscribe, then you can get a notification every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.